This conference will now be recorded.
Okay, welcome. This is the March 15th meeting of the Wallingford Zoning Board of Appeals. I'd like to start the meeting by saying the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, I'm going to read my blurb here on how I'm going to run the meeting so everybody new understands. Welcome to the March 15th meeting of the Wallingford Zoning Board of Appeals. I'm going to explain how I'm going to run the meeting. First, I ask that everyone that can, please mute your microphone to keep background noise to a minimum and unmute when it's your turn to speak. I will do a roll call of all board members present, then I'll do a second roll call to announce the voting board members for today's meeting. Once I call your application number, I will then ask our secretary to read all correspondence to your application. When that is complete, I will welcome you and ask that you state your name and address for the record. After that, I will then give you the floor to explain your application. Once you have completed your application presentation, I will then call on the board members one at a time by name to ask if they have any questions for you. After that, I will go to the public and call on them one at a time for comments. Once the public comments are complete, I will ask the applicant if they have anything further to add before I close the public hearing and open it up to comments and action from the board. At that time, I will call on the board voting members one at a time to ask if they have any further comments. After that, I will ask for a motion and a second. Then I will run a roll call vote from voting members, then present the results to the applicant. Anytime during the meeting, if anyone has something further to add, you can use the chat feature or raise your hand and I will call on you. That's probably. Yeah. Yeah. Tonight's decision will be published in the Record Journal on Friday, March 19th, 2021. The effective date of your variance will be Friday, March 19th, 2021. The date a certified copy is recorded on the land records. The statutory 15-day appeal period will expire on Sunday, April 4th, 2021. If you commence operations and/or construction during the appeal period, you do so at your own risk. All right, members that are here in attendance tonight, we have Sam Carmody, Tom Wolfer, Karen Harris, Lou Sherwinski, Ray Rise, and myself, Joe Russick, as chairman. Voting members tonight is Sam Carmody, Tom Wolfer, Lou Sherwinski, Ray Rise, and myself, Joe Russ. All right, the first application we're going to hear tonight is 20-034, special exception request for daycare for Pumpkin Patch Properties, LLC, 4 Circle Drive. Mr. Secretary, do we have any correspondence?
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chairman. In regards to application 20-034, special exception request for daycare Pumpkin Patch Properties, LLC, 4 Circle Drive. Applicant is requesting child daycare center with enrollment of 117, an area of 7,825 square feet to allow a second floor single residential dwelling unit at 4 Circle Drive in an R18 district. Property has special exception approval for enrollment of 100 at same site for entire 2-story building of 9,572 square feet. The added residential unit requires detailed building and potential site plan elements, as residential use requires alternate building and fire code compliance. Applicant still has not provided detailed floor plans for both floors and total of available space. The access to and from entrance/egress for each space and between floors is not clearly represented. The board should consider the logistics of parking, access, use of grounds, and daycare operations at ground level of residential unit. Applicant should clearly demonstrate the use of all space within the building and access to residential unit other than via daycare operation/space. Proposal does not accurately or clearly define the interconnection of the two uses and spaces. see what else we have here. We have a revised application received January 25th, 21. We have correspondence from Wallingford Water and Sewer dated, it looks like February 8th, 21. Correspondence from the fire department, February 2nd, 21. The building department, February 2nd, 2021. There's a, looks like a note here from Saram Samhadri, dated January 19th, 21. And there's, let's say, some maps here. We keep going. Map dated November 18th, 2020. Another drawing dated, received January 28th, 2021. Looks like some other correspondence that includes from PGR LLC dated January 25th, 2021. Some more information from PGR February 3rd, 2021. Another packet from PGR dated February 3rd, 2021, and another drawing which is marked as revised, received January 25th, 2021 from Giuliano Associates. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. Welcome. Who's representing Four Circle Drive?
Good evening, members of the commission. My name is Matthew Niski, professional engineer on behalf of representing Giuliano Associates at 405 Main Street in Yalesville. And with me tonight is also Mr. Ranciato, who will be talking about the inside of the building.
Good evening.
To start, there is no proposed changes on the outside of the building. The site currently has 28 parking spaces, which was based on the original approval for the building. We are reducing the daycare square footage. And by doing so, we actually are bringing the required parking spaces down to 23 spaces, then with the 2 spaces required for the single family dwelling, would push us up to the 25 spaces. So by decreasing the daycare and adding the single family residence, we are allowing for more parking for the daycare on site. Other than that, there are no proposed changes on the outside of the building, and Mr. Ranciato will discuss what's happening inside the building.
Okay, go ahead. We'll let you guys present and then we'll start our questions. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Okay, so on the inside of the building, the upstairs, the second floor already has a kitchen and a bathroom space up there. The only thing that would be really changing is obviously I talked to the building inspector, and there's going to have to be clear code things that need to be done, such as the fire rating. There's going to have to be the exit signs and all of that stuff on the second floor, because you can't go from a residential to the commercial. So it has to all go outside the building from the staircase that already exists. Inside, basically, walls are going to be put up and it's going to be turned into a residential dwelling. Right now, it's finished up there. It's just made as extra space for that daycare, which isn't being used currently.
Okay, so you say there's staircases on the side that's going up to the second floor
Correct. From the outside.
from the outside. Now, how is the daycare going to operate with picking up, dropping off, with now having tenants upstairs?
Mr. Niski, do you want to answer that question?
I do. I would have to contact the client with regards to that. I do not believe that it would impact with the daycare timing of it. And if it would, then that would be something that would have to be looked into. Again, with the extra spaces on site, obviously the residents would be parked.
So there's nobody here to speak as far as the owner or the person running the daycare that could explain all the changes now?
Well, I'd like to say that since the entrance to the residential area is on the right side and the entrance to the daycare where people are picking up and dropping off are on the left side of the building, I can't see how it would affect any picking up or dropping off whatsoever because it's in two completely different spots where you wouldn't even be going through the other area to get to where you need to be for either the tenant or the daycare.
I understand what you're proposing there, but we need to hear from somebody from the daycare or the owner as to operations of the daycare and how adding a second apartment upstairs and having tenants is going to affect the daycare. You know, hours of operation, drop-off times, where the drop-off's going to be, and then as far as property, there is a playground in the back. What property does the tenant have as accessibility? There's a lot of questions that need to be asked, and I can't believe there's not somebody here to answer these questions. I mean, I understand, you know, we have Giuliano Associates and the builder here, but you guys, as far as I'm seeing, is not able to answer all the questions that really are affecting this application. Let me see, has anybody else got any questions? Sam, do you have any questions for the applicant?
Not at the moment, Mr. Chairman, but I echo what you said. I think it was pretty clearly spelled out that we would have liked to be able to hear about the daycare operations from the daycare themselves. So I propose that we postpone voting on this tonight.
No, I believe we already continued this once already, so I think they've had in my opinion, they've had their opportunity to, let me see, Tom Wolford, do you have any questions for the applicant?
Yes, Mr. Chairman. I echo your comments that you have, and also Sam's. One that I have, and I think that we need to know is that all the parents of the current enrollment in the school have been notified that there's going to be a change on the second floor. There's going to be a person coming in and out while their children are in the daycare.
Yep. Do you have anything further, Tom? Can you speak a little bit closer or louder in your phone there?
I'm sorry.
There you go.
Is that better? Do I need to repeat what I said already?
No, I just want to know if you had anything further.
Oh, no, that's it. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Okay. Karen Harris, do you have anything you'd like to, questions or comments?
I guess the question I had, Mr. Chairman, is whether these changes are being requested solely to facilitate the sale of the property. I've noticed online that there's a listing for this property by Colonial Properties that indicates that the second floor has been approved for a 2-bedroom apartment and that the turnkey daycare space will accommodate up to 117 children. I was surprised when I read that.
Okay, Karen, I don't know if anybody, I guess nobody's here to answer that question.
Okay, thank
Sorry,
you.
I have no idea. I didn't even know about that.
Yeah, it is listed. I happened to, Karen actually brought it to my attention. I happened to notice it. Okay, Karen, do you have anything further or that's it?
No, that was it.
All right, thank you very much. Lou, do you have any questions or comments on this application?
No, I mean, I echo what everyone else has kind of said. I mean, as someone who has a young child, I would really want to know how the separation is going to be, what access the tenant, residential tenant might have, or what, like you had said, what use, right? And also what, you know, in today's day and age with background checks and whatnot, if someone was able to rent that unit, I don't know what the laws are, but if you have young children there, what can be guaranteed or done to make sure that there isn't someone that's put into that residential unit that maybe has a background that they shouldn't really be there. So again, I don't know what the legal aspects are of that, but I am curious.
I agree totally. Thank you. Ray, do you have any comments, questions?
Well, after all you people spoke, the only thing that bothers me is what's the need to have an apartment up there? I mean, I can't, I was trying to just visualize how many daycares actually have apartments upstairs or outside. The other thing is, I could see an apartment there if it was for whoever runs the daycare. But I just don't see why we need to have that apartment there. And I don't know if there's anybody that can answer that, but it just doesn't seem something that's reasonable to me.
Okay, Ray, thank you. Amy's here. She's going to comment on this application.
Good evening, all. Just a little backstory. I believe the board is quite generous by allowing the applicant to continue to this month's meeting from last month when there wasn't representation here. So I think that should be considered as you move forward, because I have been in contact with the property owner who refuses to provide that information as to the workings of the daycare, which is what this application is. It's not how the apartment is being built or the map of the site. It's the inner workings of how the two uses are going to be intertwined, and you have full discretion to make sure that operates to your satisfaction or not. Motivation for doing so, it's not here nor there. You have full, again, the board has full discretion to make sure this is an appropriate added use to this particular property. And if somebody is not present to speak to how the operations of the daycare work, there's other factors involved here. There's licensing by the state of Connecticut for a daycare. Personally, I'm not versed in the guidelines, but what changes does it make from going from 100 to 117 in lesser space? Perhaps that wouldn't work. Does it increase the traffic? Where are they being dropped off? What's the day look like? What are the hours of operation? And the property owner has been advised numerous times to please have representation or represent himself here to speak to those items. So as far as the office is concerned, although very generous and respectfully to both the builder and the engineer, that's not, the application is not for that. These are elements of the application somebody needs to speak to. So I would recommend that this is an incomplete and insufficient application, and also be advised that the applicant has also attempted to get a 4-unit apartment, 4 apartments approved prior to coming through for zoning. So we already had to scale it back, hold on and that come backwards and do it properly, and you get 1. So I do have some added suggestions for conditions for you all. Should you make a motion on this? And again, you can make a motion, whether or not it carries, it remains to be seen. But I would suggest that you add the condition that the single family dwelling unit only on the 2nd floor, and that the appropriate licensing coincides with the reduced area and enrollment capacities, whether or not that works. And I guess that's probably sort of my input for the day. But if you don't have adequate information to make an informed or comfortable decision as the board, and again, you do have discretion with this, this is a special exception for a daycare use. It is not how we build something. Then you do not have to approve something you're not comfortable with. And we do have time constraints. We can't just keep chasing information and carrying it forward. So with all respect, that's the office comments.
Thank you, Amy. Is there anybody here speak in favor of this application? Anybody here speak against this application? Hearing none, does anybody, either the engineer or builder, have anything further you'd like to add before I close the public hearing?
No, thank you, Chairman.
No, thank you.
Okay, and thank you for coming tonight. I appreciate your time. All right, I'm going to close the public hearing, open up for discussion and possible action by the board. I'm just going to make a comment. This is an incomplete application. Nobody here to represent this. So I'm just recommending that somebody make a motion to approve and we either vote it up or down. Like I said, there's nobody here to represent and answer our questions about the daycare and picking up and everything else. So I'll leave it to whoever wants to make the motion.
Do we have to make a motion to approve it and vote on it, or can there be a motion to reject it?
Well, I think the proper way to do it, Ray, is to make a motion to approve and then we either vote it up or down. And that's the clear way of doing it. And then if it doesn't carry, then it's been denied.
Well, then I'll make a motion for the special exemption request for child daycare for an enrollment of 117 and an area of 7,825 square feet as shown on limited property boundary survey. Land of Pumpkin Patch Properties LLC dated 10/12/2020, revised and received 012521, and conceptual plans received January 25th, 2021, I would believe, and January 27th, 2021, and February 3rd, 2021, subject to the conditions of the comments from Fire Marshal. Received February 2nd, 2021. Comments from the Building Department received February 2nd, 2021. And comments of the Water and Sewer Division dated February 8th, 2021. So moved.
Can I get a second?
Second.
Okay, we got a motion and a second. Motion to approve, Sam Carmody.
No to approve.
Motion to approve, Tom Wolfer,
No to approve.
Lou Sherwinski,
No to approve.
Ray Rise,
No to approve.
and I vote no. Application's been denied.
Thank you for your
Okay.
time, Commissioners.
Thank you. Next application is 21-001, variance request for Andre at 26 Beechwood Drive. Mr. Secretary, do we have any correspondence?
Yes, Mr. Chairman, thank you. In regards to application number 21-001, variance request for Andre at 26 Beechwood Drive, applicant requests a side yard setback of 8 feet where 8 feet and 19.8 feet exist and 20 feet is required, and a front yard of 28 feet where 33.5 feet exists and 40 feet is required to construct an addition, full vertical addition, and 5-foot by 10-foot covered front porch entryway. The two-story addition proposed for the southeast side of the dwelling is compliant with regard to the southeast side setback. Addition to southeast will eliminate existing nonconformity with regard to that setback. Dwelling is currently nonconforming with regard to northwest side setback and front setback. Variances are required to expand the existing dwelling vertically. Proposal to add a 5 by 10 foot single-story front porch / entryway expands the existing nonconformity by 5 feet, reducing front yard from 33.5 feet to 28.5 feet. Despite the undersized lot, proposal is compliant with respect to building coverage requirement of 15% maximum. We also have a drawing from Dario Andrade, dated February 11th, 2021. And then also a interoffice memorandum from Wallingford Water and Sewer dated, looks like this says March 11th, 2021. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. Welcome. Who's representing this application?
I'm Daniel Lyon, architect at 4 Simpson Avenue, Wallingford, representing Dario Andrade, the applicant.
Okay, Mr. Lyons, welcome. You have the floor. Please explain your application.
Thank you. We have applied for a variance to build a 2-story addition. Can you see anything?
No,
I'm holding this up to our screen.
no, your camera's not on. You have to turn your camera on.
Okay, now it is.
There we go.
Okay. We want to put a, let's see. A 2-story addition on the side.
Yeah, your camera's still not on, but we all have the picture, so I
You do
believe
have the
everybody's
picture.
got the paperwork, so.
You webcams.
Okay, well, you've got the picture, and that's fine.
It says webcam preview though.
Anyway, we want to build a 2-story addition, and then we want to raise the roof of this now cape and add a 1-foot 2nd-story garrison overhang on the front and a covered entry. The proposals are in keeping with the nearby residences, and it improves the site in all respects. The chief difference between this variance request and the previous January variance request is one that we have eliminated the front and side porch and thus eliminated the request for a variance and the percentage of coverage. Also, the size of the front yard variance request. This present request has is only for front and side yard variances. I think it covers the things that I want to say.
Okay, yeah, I see that you've made the porch a little smaller,
Yep.
just over the front stairs, and that helps a lot.
Yep.
And you eliminated that one variance on the side there.
Right. You have the old drawing in front of you as well as the new?
Yes.
Okay, good.
Yep, I see what you're doing. Okay. Sam, do you have any questions for the applicant?
No, Mr. Chairman, I do not.
Thank you. Tom Wolfer.
No, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, I see you got your camera. You're online there. Good job.
Working on it.
If you unmute that, you probably could talk through your computer.
I'm trying to.
Okay. Karen Harris, do you have any questions for the applicant?
No, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. Lou Sherwinski, do you have any questions for the applicant?
No, Mr. Chairman.
Ray Rice, do you have any questions for the applicant?
I don't.
Okay, thank you. Is there anybody here speak in favor of this application? Anybody here speak against this application? Hearing none. Mr. Lyons, do you have anything further you'd like to add before I close the public hearing, open it up for possible action by the board?
No,
Robert, you don't hear me?
I think I said it all.
Oh, my goodness. Here you don't. Hello,
Hello, yes.
Robert Biancher. I have no objections to the plan.
Okay, very good, thank you.
I am his next door neighbor.
Okay, very good. Which side, right or left side?
Facing the street, I'd be on the left.
Okay, what's your number, your address, sir?
Mine is 24.
24 Beechwood. Okay, thank you very much. Okay, I'm gonna close the public hearing, open it up for action and possible discussion and action by the board. We have two variances here we're gonna need motions for.
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion on a variance request for side yard setback of 8 foot to construct a two-story addition as shown on plot plan proposed addition, Dario Andre, dated 10/8 of 2020, revised February 9th of 2021, and rendering received 2/11/2021, subject to comments from Water and Sewer Department dated March 1st, 2021. So move.
Second.
I got a motion and a second. Motion to approve. Sam Carmody,
Yes to approve.
Tom Wolfer,
Yes to approve.
Lou Sherwinski,
Yes to approve.
Ray Rise,
Yes to approve.
and I vote yes. So the first variance is for the side yard setback is approved.
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion, variance request for front yard setback of 28.5 feet to construct a two-story addition and 5 foot by 10 foot single-story covered front entry as shown on plot plan proposed addition, Dario Andre, dated 10/8 of 2020, revised February 9th, 2021, and rendering received to February 11th, 2021, subject to comments from Water and Sewer Division dated March 1st, 2021. So moved.
Second.
I got a motion and a second. Motion to approve. Sam Carmody,
Yes to approve.
Tom Wolfer,
Yes to approve.
Lou Sherwinski,
Yes to approve.
Ray Rise,
Yes to approve.
and I vote yes. Mr. Lyons, both variances have been approved.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, do I get somebody to make a motion to approve the minutes?
Motion to approve minutes as submitted.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, can I get a motion to adjourn?
No.
Mr. Chairman, I'll make a motion to adjourn the meeting.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you, everybody, and we'll have a busy month next month, 5 applications or 6 applications.
Oh, boy.
Yeah.